Alright, what's up everybody? Yes, I'm doing another live video. The announcement, I actually have done a review today, but it has trouble uploading and stuff like that, and I just got back from what I had to do, so I was like, I'm not even tired, so why not just show you guys my vinyl collection? Just a little shout out basically. Basically this all of my what's up, Steven? How you doing? Basically, this is like the vinyls I showed you guys yesterday. I'm not gonna show it to you guys basically because it makes no sense basically. So if I do see a vinyl which I showed you guys yesterday, I'm just gonna put it to the side and be like, yeah, fuck it. Other than that, let's get started. First vinyl I'm gonna show to you guys today is Stevie Wonder's whatever album this is. This is Fulfilling This first finale album released in 1974. This album is a very dope album, and it's kind of crazy because, like, this album, you won't hear a lot of people talking about this album as much as the other albums on this in this classic period, like Innovision, Songs the Key of Life, and so on and so on. Like, singles albums known for are Boogie on Reggae Woman, which is a song it took me a while to really get into, and You Haven't Done Nothing, where he was attacking Nixon and shit like that. Overall, must have in your collection if you're a Stevie Wonder fan. Then we got Queen Latifah's Nature of a Sister, her second album released in 1991. Very slept on album if you ask me. I'm actually planning a review on this as we speak, which will probably sometime either next 2 weeks or something, depending on my schedule is. Yeah, this album caught a lot of flack because basically this album, this album kind of had a more of an R&B crossover appeal to it. But here's the thing about this album, though. If you listen to Queen Latifah, Homegirl was combining R&B and dance hall and jazz in her first album, and people sleep on how versatile that album was. And I think this album was kind of like an extension to the first and stuff like that, but it had more of an R&B emphasis. I'm gonna talk more about this when I do a review, so I don't want to say nothing too much. And then we got my girl Denise Williams with "This Is Niecy," was in 1976. Denise Williams, definitely a very slept on singer. She basically she was affiliated with Maurice White, called Stephanie. Rest in peace to both of those guys. Yeah, singles I was known for. I think Free was a single, and That's What Friends Are For. I don't know if that was a single as well, but yeah, that very good album. Michelle. If you like that mid-70s smooth kind of soul, this is the album for you. Then we got The Emotions with Rejoice, released in 1977. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, that's why I'm recording this from my phone because basically my speaker on my phone is not working. So yeah, my fault about that. But anyway, the Emotions with Rejoice. Yeah, you guys know who the Emotions are. Yeah, very dope group. Another group affiliated with Earth, Wind, Fire. But what I did not know, they were originally got their start affiliated with Isaac Hayes, which I really did not know. Okay, if you guys can see, the singles are "Best of My Love" and "Don't Ask My Neighbors." Classic song right there. In case you guys haven't heard, check out the Tashina Arnold and Tisha Campbell version of the song for the Sprung soundtrack. You won't regret it. Then we got Marvin Gaye with "Live at the London Palladium," released in 1977. A must-have in your collection for all my Marvin heads. This album basically was released right a year after "I Want You," so most of the live performances he was doing on this project was either like "I Want You" era, "Let's Get It On" era, and then he had a few medleys here and there. So yeah, very dope album, must have. We got Guns N' Roses with "Appetite for Destruction," released in 1987. Fucking dope album, very dark. Yeah, I saw you guys had the Emotions album, bro. I saw that. Yeah, very dark album. If you ask me, this album proved that glam metal or hairband can like actually rock hard and shit like that. You don't have to do that whole pussy shit that Poison was doing. But other than that, singles album is known for all Welcome to the Jungle. I believe It's So Easy, Paradise City, Sweet Child of Mine. I know it came out with a couple more singles though, but yeah. This is their best album in my opinion. Very dope album. Must have in your collection. Then we got Philly Soul with the Stylistics. We got their self-titled debut album released in 1970. Very dope album. Stylistics never really got a lot of praise when it comes to like Philly groups such as like Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, the OJs, and the production was handled by Tom Bell and stuff like that, who's a very slept-on producer. Cause here's the thing about Tom Bell's production, like as opposed to like Gamble and Huss, he had like more strings. He had the more like elegant kind of production, which I fucked with a lot. Very dope group right here. Singles I was known for are Stop, Look, Listen to Your Heart, Bet You by Golly Wow, You're a Big Girl Now, You Are Everything, and People Makes the World Go Round. Hella rappers sampled out of this shit, so yeah. Then we got the late George Michael with Faith. Give me 1 second. Okay, so yeah, we got George Michael with Faith, released in 1987. You guys should know who George Michael is. He was part of the group Wham. He, of course, you guys should know he recently died and shit like that. Yeah, bro, Father Figure, definitely one of my favorite songs off this project and shit. But my favorite song really is Kissing the Fool though. Oh my god, like definitely a slept on not slept on song and shit. The thing with this album was like you can really hear a lot of like influence, not just with like pop, but with R&B and jazz and everything. Like he really wanted to break out on his own with this album. So yeah, Faith, Father Figure, I Want Your Sex, very controversial song back in that time. Um, what else? Monkey, Kissing the Fool. I think One More Try was also a single as well, but yeah. Very dope album. Classic in my opinion. Then we got Earth, Wind and Fire with Gratitude, released in 1975, I believe. This was more like a live album, but it still added some studio tracks to it. Um, Very dope album and shit like that. Like very dope live. It came out with I think one single, which was Can't Hide Your Love. Once you hear that beat, like dun 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 dun, like very dope song. All my Just Ice fans should know about that song, by the way. But that's another story for a different day. Really, I never knew Dipset made a beat off that album and shit. But it wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, very dope album. Then you have the Rolling Stones with Some Girls, released in 1978. This is definitely how you do a comeback album in a way because yeah, they were definitely trying out new trends with this album. But seeing with the X album, it still had its like bluesy elements and things of that nature. Because around this time, Keith Richards was going through some legal trouble at that time, and Mick Jagger kind of took over the direction of this project and shit. So singles albums known for are Miss You, dope song. Let me see. They had a cover of Just My Imagination. Far Away Eyes, Respectable. And Beast of Burden. And Shattered too, that was a single. Must have in your collection if you're a Rolling Stones fan. I've been looking forever for this album, and I'm so finally glad I got this. Classic in my opinion. Then we have Earth, Wind, and Fire with "That's the Way of the World." My opinion, this album, Gratitude, and All in All are my favorite albums from them. But you can't go wrong with that output from 1973 to 1981 and shit like that because they were really unstoppable at that time. Um, what many people don't know was like this was actually a soundtrack to a movie of that time. I have not seen the movie. I've talked to everybody and they said they have not seen the movie as well. So if I can find some snippets, if I do a review on the album, I can post it and I'll see what y'all got to say. Yeah, man, singles albums known for are Shining Star, That's the Way of the World, Reasons. That was not really a single, but it got radio airplay. Oh yeah, so look at that, man. Like, look how fucking dope like their style was and shit. Like, rest in peace to Maurice White. Still can't believe he passed though. But then we have another Earth, Wind, and Fire. This is Head to the Sky. Yeah, another very dope album and shit like that. And oh, for real, for what song? If you don't mind me asking. So yeah, singles albums known for are Keep Your Head to the Sky, Evil, what else? Yeah, I definitely have to relook the singles off this project, but this album right here though, whew, very good album, very good. And I'm actually, yeah, once I review Earth, Wind, and Fire, I can't wait to review Earth, Wind, and Fire and shit like that because their discography was just amazing. I found out like a lot of good information about them. All right, now we're about to get to the shelf right here. Then we got my girl Solange. I see it at the table. Believe it or not, I don't want to spoil it, but actually, this is the album I did a review on. The review is uploaded right now and stuff like that. Bet, appreciate it, bro. Yeah, the review is uploading now, so yeah, I'm gonna just save my thoughts on that. We got Mariah Carey's first album, self-titled, released in 1990. Damn, I just love this. I just love this album cover. Like, damn, like back in the 90s, I don't know, the early to mid. She's always been beautiful, but something about the early to mid 90s, Mariah. But let me stop fantasizing. Yeah, very dope album. This is probably my third or fourth favorite album from Mariah. I was surprised I found this album actually in vinyl though, on some real shit. But yeah, singles album is known for Visions of Love, classic song. Oh my god, I might even sample that shit just to sample it. But I Don't Want to Cry, Vanishing. Yeah, I think those. No, wait, not Vanishing. Excuse me. Someday. But yeah, and yeah, definitely. I kind of felt like The Emancipation of Mimi was her last great album, bro. But at the same time, I haven't really peeped her discography post that album. So yeah. Other than that, must have in your collection. Then we got Showbiz and AG, Runaway Slave, released in 1992. You guys should know how I feel about this album. Very surprised I found this on vinyl, especially for $5, because this album usually goes for a lot of money. But Showbiz and AG, definitely part of DITC. Singles albums known for are Fat Pockets. But the thing about that song, the video version fit the album more. And that's one thing like we were talking about the other day, like the whole video version and things of that nature. But I think Fat Pockets, Bounce to This. I believe I know Soul Clap. Yeah. I definitely have to review this album and shit like that. So yeah, definitely a dope album and stuff like that. Out of print, by the way. don't laugh at me, guys. I bought this album because it was a collector's item. It was Hammer, the Funky Headhunter, released in 1994. Yes, I got this album on vinyl. Okay, let's just break that shit out. This is definitely him adapting to the gangster times and shit like that. Production is actually very good because Daz was producing some of this. Um, Teddy Riley, very dope producer. And he kind of ran after some rappers on this album like Q-Tip, Redman. I believe he went after Run DMC. So singles albums known for I think was like us. It's All Good. Oh wait, excuse me. It's All Good. Let me stop. Pumps in the Bump. Um, it's All of That. Yeah, it came out with a couple of singles. Yeah, but I think those were like the main singles. This album, of course, is out of print. So if you can find it and you want to take a chance, you can listen to it. Then we have what it looks like Ozzy Osbourne Diary of Madman, but it's actually Blizzard of Oz, his first album. The only reason why I didn't return this is because this is the OG copy of Blizzard of Oz. And for all my Ozzy fans, basically the reissues that happened, besides I think the latest reissue, Sharon Osbourne replaced like Randy Rhoads' like all the band members' parts because she didn't want to pay them and shit. So fuck her for that. But anyway, very, very, very classic album. This is, in my opinion, his best album. In my opinion, his first two albums are his best. Singles albums known for are Crazy Train, I Don't Know, Mr. Crawley, love that song. So yeah, definitely a very good album and shit like that. And I definitely need to get my hands on Diary of Madman because that one is on some other shit too. Then we have the late great Tina Marie, Lady T, released in 1979. You guys should know Tina Marie. She was on Rick James, Prodigy, Motown artist. In my opinion, the queen of Blue Eyes. I'm sorry, I hate that title, Blue Eyed Soul, on some real shit. Cause I don't know, man. Soul music is soul music and shit like that. So if you have soul, you shouldn't really just label just Blue Eyed Soul. But that's another story for a different day. Let me stop. Singles albums known for are what are singles? I think Behind the Groove was a single. And damn, I had to relook some of these singles because it's been a while since I actually peeped this album. But yeah, probably one of my favorite Tina Marie albums of all time. Like this album definitely was like a breakthrough album. I used to have her Robbery album, but I sold it and shit like that just for some extra cash. I'm gonna get the album back. So then we have Rage Against the Machines with the self-titled debut, released in 1992. Man, this album, definitely a very dope album and shit like that. Rage Against the Machine, a lot of people kind of say they're like the Godfather's new metal, if you want to say the least. But they were like, I don't even see them more like as new metal with this release, because this one, the best way to describe Rage Against the Machine, this album is just like a more hardcore metal fusion Public Enemy in a way and stuff like that. Because you can tell Zach De La Rocha was very influenced by Chuck D, Boogie Down Productions. Yeah, like a lot of shit. But singles albums known for are Killing in the Name, Bullet in the Head, Wake Up, and I think Freedom too. Yeah. when it comes to my favorite album from them, I don't know. I think I have to say Battle of Los Angeles and shit. Evil Empire was definitely a dope project as well and shit like that. I feel like Evil Empire does not get the credit it deserves, but that's another story for a different day. Yes, Sadat X, Wild Cowboys, released in 1996. Y'all should know who Sadat X is. He is 1/4 of Brand Nubian, one of my favorite hip hop groups of all time. This was his solo debut album, underground classic right here. Wild Cowboys, basically. Yeah, this one his best album. Wild Cowboys 2 was garbage, but what were the singles off this album? Singles were I think Bang 'em High, Hang 'em High, and Wild Cowboys. I think that was a single and shit like that. But yeah, I have to definitely re-listen to this album as well. So, and then we have the Velvet Underground and Nico, self-titled, released in 1960. Let me think. I believe 1966. Let me double check. Yeah, it's gotta be 1966. But for those you guys should know who Velvet Underground is. You know, they're a group funded by Lou Reed and shit like that. And this is when they were under Andy Warhol, and Andy Warhol bought in Nico and shit like that. Overall, very dirty, grimy kind of album, classic album and shit like that. To this day, I never understood why they picked a banana as an album cover to this day, but it still remains one of the best album covers ever. Excuse me. Singles albums known for are I'm Waiting for the Man, Female Fatale, classic song in my opinion. I think Heroin was not a single, but it got radio airplay and shit. And I want to say I'll Be Your Mirror. That was a single as well. So yeah, very dope album in my opinion. This is like probably my second favorite album from them. I definitely need to get more of their albums, especially White Light, White Heat. Then we have Killer Mike with R.A.P. Music. Very dope album and shit like that. You guys know who Killer Mike is. He affiliated with Outkast at one point, and then next thing you know, he hooked up with what's old dude's name? LP and shit like that. Very dope album and shit. Very dope album. Definitely got to re-listen to this and do a review on Killer Mike, R.A.P. Music. Yes, another underground classic, Smith & Wesson, The Shining, released in 1996. Yeah, man, like classic album, like Smith & Wesson, Tech and Steel, Boot Camp Click. You know, singles albums known for are the Wreck Time, One Time, Soundboy Relle, KIM, and shit like that. Yeah, it came out with a lot of singles. But my favorite song, Hallucination. Oh my God, Hallucination is my shit. Like da da da, like this is the album you play, and if you guys like, okay, if you guys like, you know, smoke Buddha, or if you having like a little basement party, this is the album you play. Lights out, you can have a blue light, red light, or some shit like that. Definitely feel the underground with this album. And we have the Beach Boys with Pet Sounds, released in I believe 1965, if I'm not mistaken. But wait, let me think. Yeah, Bucktown. Let's appreciate that, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, but anyway, classic album. This is definitely a groundbreaking album for its time. In my opinion, this might sound kind of controversial, but I would say this was really like the first great rock album, the first great rock concept album, to be say the least and shit. And without this album, you would not have heard like Sgt. Pepper, you know, from the Beatles and stuff like that. Singles albums known for are Wouldn't It Be Nice? Don't Talk, Don't Talk, Put Your Head on My Shoulder. God Only Knows. Caroline No was a single, but it was released under Brian Wilson, and that was like the first single. So yeah, this album definitely was. You can consider like a Brian Wilson solo project because he basically took over everything while they were on tour. Because you guys should know he had like a nervous breakdown around that time too. So then we have Red Fox with Bare Facts, 1970 to say the least. Yeah, this is just a live comedy album he recorded in California, Hollywood to be exact. Yeah, it's Red Fox. So Al Green, Call Me, released in 1973. His best album in my opinion. This one and Living for You, which is the slept on record. Steve's albums known for are Call Me, Come Back Home. Let's see. Here I Am, Come and Take Me. And You Ought to Be With Me. Yeah, this is very, 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 very good. Very soulful. Basically, Al Green during early to mid 70s. Can't go no wrong with that. There you got my girl Grace Jones with Nightclubbing, released in 1981. Very, very dope album. You know, Grace Jones. You guys should know who she is. Before all my millennials, she was on fucking Boomerang and shit like that. So, yeah. This album, definitely a very sick album. Like, you can call it a pop album. You can call it a new wave album. But it was just a lot of shit going on in this project. And yeah, you're right, bro. A lot of people, even myself, kind of slept on her because this was basically a blind buy when I was at the record store and shit like that. And I was just like, I've seen this album a couple of times and I'm going to listen to it. Ironically, I bought the album like 2 years ago and I just heard the album about a couple months ago. So, yeah. Singles I was known for are, I think the two singles were Walking in the Rain and I've Seen That Face Before, Limba Tango. Yeah, man. Very dope album. Very dope album and shit. And to be honest with you, I might just finish up this shelf because I think my phone's about to die. So I'll probably do the other recap of my vinyl collection maybe tomorrow morning, depending on how I wake up. Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that too. Appreciate that for mentioning because she was definitely working with a lot with Sly and Robbie. Dope reggae duo, by the way. They've done like a lot of work with, you name the reggae artists, they've done a lot of work with them. There we have the Friday soundtrack, released in 1995. Friday, definitely a classic. Definitely a classic movie. Ice Cube, John Witherspoon, Chris Tucker, Bernie Mac. Rest in peace to Bernie Mac, by the way. This is actually the 2015, I believe, reissue. And this is like the holographic cover and shit like that. So, yeah. This soundtrack has everything, right? Singles albums known for are Friday with Ice Cube. Y'all should know the story about that song. Keep the Heads Ring by Dr. Dre. Take a Hit, Mac 10. Blast If I Have To, EA Ski. EA Ski, very underrated if you ask me. So yeah, very dope soundtrack and shit. In my opinion, out of all the soundtracks for Friday, this is probably the only one you should only have because the other two soundtracks, fuck out of here. And that's the thing about the 90s too. They actually knew how to make hip hop soundtracks and shit. Although I'll keep it real. I did kind of like the Black Panther soundtrack. It did have some dope cuts on it, but then we have Black Sabbath, Master of Reality, released in 1971. My opinion, this is probably my favorite album from Black Sabbath. This one and Paranoid. This was really the one where they were really going dark with this album. A lot of people kind of consider this, among the first stoner rock albums and shit like that. I mean, the first song on this project is Sweet Leaf. So yeah, definitely a very dope album and shit like that. Um, I forgot the singles off this project because it's been a while since I've heard this album. So yeah. Then we have Vanity Six. What's the album that had Behind the Walls? I'll get back with you on that one, bro, because I kind of forgot right now. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's Volume 4, but I'll get back with you on that. Then we have Vanity Six with their self-titled debut. Very, very dope album. This album right here is kind of like it definitely has Prince influence on it. You can tell. I mean, because you know, all of his affiliate albums has that Prince influence, but this is the one. If you listen to it, you will know, basically. Yeah, rest in peace to Vanity as well. Very beautiful woman, by the way. Singles albums known for are, I think, Nasty Girl, and I want to say He's So Dull, but I'm not too sure on that one. But other than that, very dope album and stuff. Oh yeah, I love Sex Shooter and shit like that, like shit like that, bro. I love that song. Dun 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 dun. Then we got this artist called Jamelia Woods. Um, what's this album called? Yeah. Heaven. That's Heaven. You're right about that. Yeah, since I still haven't listened to this project, so I'm slipping. I'm slipping. I like the album. I buy it because I like the album cover. Weather Report, Mr. Gone, released in 1978. Very dope album from the Weather Report. A lot of hip hop have sampled from Weather Report and shit like that. Dope songs like Punk Jazz, Pinocchio, River People, Young. Yeah, very dope song, album and shit. I need to get some more Weather Report, especially their earlier albums where like their music was like a lot more darker. Then we have Diana Ross's self-titled debut, released in 1970. Very, very, very dope album. In my opinion, this is probably one of my favorite Diana Ross albums. But really though, can we just talk about this album cover and why she looks like that Motown did not pay her or some shit? I'm sorry, let me stop. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, this album cover just looks like Motown did not pay her one dime and shit. Yeah, singles album is known for Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Hand. Ain't No Mountain High Enough. I want to say, yeah, I think I'll say those two, but yeah. The best way to describe this album is Broadway soul. Because basically every song sounds like it was like a Broadway production. Ashford and Simpson definitely did their thing with this album. Rest in peace to Nick Ashford, by the way. And no, my friends, in case you guys haven't on Facebook, Nick Ashford and Shaka Khan are not related. Just to let y'all know. Because I know there's a Facebook post where Shaka Khan's net worth, they have his picture on it. So then we have Peabo Bryson, Crosswinds, released in 1978. Very slept on singer right here, Peabo Bryson. Yeah, he's very, very dope singer. Singles I was known for, I'm So Into You. I think Crosswinds was a single. Yeah. Definitely need to re-listen to this album though. I need to get some more of his shit though. Gladys Knight and the Pips, Neither One of Us, released in 1973. Very good album and shit like that. Very good. I believe this was the last album they signed with Motown. I want to say that. Yeah, the last album was Motown. Very dope and shit. One of their best albums. Singles albums known for are Neither One of Us. Neither One of Us Wants to Be the First to Say Goodbye. I think that got them a Grammy. for Who Is She and What Is She to You. That song has been sampled countless times and shit like that. I think her version is sampled a lot more than the original, but yeah, man. You can't go wrong with Gladys Knight, especially. But although my favorite period from Gladys Knight and the Pips was when the Buddha record period more than the Motown, because with Buddha records they got more creative control and shit. Aerosmith Rocks, 1976. My favorite, this album and Toys in the Attic are my favorite albums from Aerosmith. After, I would say after Pump, they were kind of like too commercial for my taste, but blame that on Steven Tyler. Singles albums known for are, what are singles? Nobody's Fault, if I'm not mistaken. I think Last Child. This album right here is just dark as hell and shit like that. One of like the most darkest projects and shit. And this is the Aerosmith I like. I mean, but I'm not really the biggest fan, but when it comes to Aerosmith, my favorite years are 73 to 77, then 87 to maybe 92, 93 and shit, but yeah. Then we have Getz and Gilberto, or Stan Getz and Joao Gilberto with, yeah. You guys should know about this album. All my Bossa Nova fans should know. This album, I think, when this album was released, 1964. Yeah, very dope jazz album and shit like that. The girl from Ipanema, I don't know if I'm, the girl from Ipanema, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that song right there, I remember this one episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I think it was an episode in the last season when Uncle Phil and Aunt Vivian kind of separated, and Will and Carlton and Aunt Helen, they were trying to put it back together. They came to the restaurant, and this guy was singing the song "Girl" from Ipanema, and fucking Carlton just jumped over and just took over singing. So that's how I know that song. But very dope album and shit. Very dope. A lot of people sampled from this too. So surprisingly, I got the Saturday Night Live Fever soundtrack, released in 1977. I gotta be honest with you, I have never seen the whole movie of Saturday Night Fever and shit like that. Never seen the whole movie, surprisingly and shit. Definitely one of the best soundtracks, Steven. Yes, the Bee Gees, very slept on. A lot of people only talk about like their disco period, but niggas don't talk about the way they were production, their songwriting. Like they've been together. I think they were making music since like the mid '60s, but people only talk about the 1975 to 1979 era. It is what it is. Singles album is known for Staying Alive, How Deep Is Your Love, If I Can't Have You. Basically, almost every song was a single at one point. So, yeah, like More Than a Woman by the Tavias, Night Fever, Bee Gees, Boogie Shoes, Casey and the Sunshine Band. And yeah, definitely one of my favorite disco albums. I would say that too. If there was one disco album I would have, it would be that one. And we got my boy, Sly and the Family Stone with Fresh, released in 1973. Their best album, in my opinion. This album, to put it bluntly, this album took the dirty production of There's a Riot Going On, but they weren't really as dark as There's a Riot Going On, just with production and shit. But yeah, man, very dope album and shit, very dope. Singles albums known for are If You Want Me to Stay, In Time, Babies. I think Babies Making Babies was a single. I think Frisky as well. Yeah, man, very good album. We got Old Dirty Bastard, Nigga Please. Done a review on this album. Not my favorite. The Beastie Boys with License to Ill, released in 1986. Beastie Boys, man, you should know what you're getting into, but this album, you can tell like they really haven't really found like their sound yet. And no, I mean they found their sound, don't get me wrong, but they it's like listen to this album, then listen to like the future albums, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Yeah, but Singles album is known for Fight for Your Right to Party. Oh yeah, Check Your Head, Ill Communication. They're my favorite albums as well. But Paul's Boutique, that's another story right there, man. Yeah, Fight for Your Right to Party, Paul Revere, No Sleep Till Brooklyn, and I think She's Crafty was a single. But yeah, very dope album from Beastie Boys and shit. Yeah. Okay, my phone's about to die soon, so I should be finished with this damn shelf by the time. So, Lady of Rage, Necessary Roughness, released in 1997. Very surprised I found this one on vinyl on some real shit. Not one of the best Death Row albums, but it was still okay and solid. I wish they would have put the original. I wish she would have fucking dropped an album back 93, 94, hell, even 95, though. That Eargasm, but you know with Death Row, how that shit goes. So, yeah. Expect a review on that album. Sheila E., The Glamorous Life, released in 1984. Second album. Very dope album. Classic album and shit like that. Whew, Sheila E. Damn. Damn. I need to get my hands on her first and definitely her third album and shit like that. But singles albums known for are, what's that one song called? The Belle of St. Mark and The Glamorous Life. Yeah, I love that song Noon Van de Voer too, bro. Definitely a very dope album. Then we have The Family with their only album, 1985. Very slept on. This is a very album that took me by surprise because I've heard of The Family before by that song Nothing Compares to You, which I hate to break it to y'all, but I cannot stand that song. Even like the Prince version, like I don't know, I just can't stand Nothing Compares to You. I've heard that song way too many times. I don't care which version it is, it's just But yeah, this is the one with Susanna Melvoin was in it, Eric Leeds, Jerome. Singles I was known for are, of course, The Screams of Passion, Mute and Mutiny as well. Yeah, good luck finding this album because this album is out of print. Yeah, luckily I was surprised I found this at the dollar store, but the dollar bin I should say, excuse me. There we have Otis Redding. The Complete and Unbelievable, the Dictionary of Soul. Yeah, this is a very dope album and shit like that. I love Otis Redding. Rest in peace to him and shit. What's the singles? Try a Little Tenderness. That was his fucking single. Yeah, fucking classic album. Otis Redding. Jay Dilla with Donuts, released in 2006. Yeah, man, Jay Dilla Donuts, incredible album. Rest in peace to Jay Dilla. A lot of rappers use a lot of beats from this album. Everybody from Joey Badass to Ghostface. Yeah, very dope. Billy Joel the Stranger, released in 1978. Yeah, classic album. I love this album. My favorite album from Billy Joel, breakthrough album. Yeah, man. I believe almost every song on here was a single. Like Moving Out, The Stranger, Just the Way You Are, Vienna. Yeah, Moving Out though. That's that song. But my favorite song on this one, besides Just the Way You Are, Scenes from the Italian Restaurant. That storytelling at its finest. I wish artists would make songs like that now, but that's asking for too much. All right. Almost done, y'all. Almost done. We'll make it. John Coltrane, Love Supreme. Oh man, we're getting some good shit right now, boy. Um, singles. This was definitely one of the greatest jazz albums ever. Man, like anything with John Coltrane touches, this is just like incredible. Rest in peace to John Coltrane, by the way. Carole King, Tempestry, released in 1971. You guys should know who Carole King is. She's basically a singer-song and a songwriter. She wrote Aretha Franklin's what's the name of that song? I Never Loved a Man the Way That I Loved You. So yeah, this is one of my favorite albums, like pop rock albums, whatever you want to call it. Like singles albums known for are "It's Too Late," love that song. You've Got a Friend. I believe she did this song with what's his name? No. She wrote "You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman." Excuse me. James Taylor, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, very dope album. This is this kind of album you listen to. This is kind of album you listen to if it's like a rainy Sunday afternoon or it's a cloudy Sunday afternoon and you just want to sip some tea and shit like that. You guys should know what I'm getting at with that, but Phyllis Hyman, You Know How to Love Me, released in 1977, I believe. Another talent gone way too soon. Yeah, definitely a very dope album. Singles I was known for. I think You Know How to Love Me was a single. Yeah, I definitely gotta re-listen to this album. I need to do a review on it. And you know what? I'm gonna do about four more because this phone is really about to die. George Carlin with Class Clown. You, definitely next to Pryor, my favorite comedian ever. This album, very controversial album, kind of, because this was the album where it had the infamous 7 words you can never say on television. Reminds me of that Everybody Hates Chris episode and shit like that. But yeah, this is definitely a dope album and shit. Love George Carlin. He's like the most, to me, he's like the most intellectual comedian who is like a fucking asshole in a way. Not like in a bad way, but you if you see his act, you should know what I'm talking about. Miles Davis, Bitches Brew, released in 1970. Very dope album and shit. Probably my favorite Miles Davis album. This was during the time when he had the jazz, kind of like the jazz fusion and shit like that. Cause you know he dropped In a Silent Way the year prior and stuff like that. Yeah, man. Shit, very dope album. I love this album. I love Miles Davis had like a lot of dope streaks in music. You can't keep up, like. But I feel like the fusion years, like 68 to 75, is my favorite era for Miles. A lot of freaky shit was going on around that time, but all right, two more. The Doors debut album, eponymous, classic album. Love Jim Morrison. Rest in peace to Jim. Rest in peace to Ray. Singles albums known for "I'll Break On Through the Other Side," "Light My Fire," "The End," "Take It As It Comes." Yeah, that's crazy. I always wondered what Doors albums you got, bro. But yeah, my favorite album from them is "L.A. Woman," but this is still dope. And the last album I'm about to show you guys is O'Brien with "You and I," released in 1983. O'Brien is a singer and shit like that. Oh yeah, I got that album too. Very slept on, by the way. Yeah, O'Brien definitely a singer. He's mostly known for the cover of Stevie Wonder's "You and I." But he had other singles like "I'm Freaky," "Dazzling Lady," "Together Always." This that standard early '80s R&B, you know. And that's all of the albums I have from you guys right now. I wish I could do more and show off the shelf, but you know how this phone is. But yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. Peace.